Hello everyone, my name is Melinda Kathleen Reese, and if you are watching this video, then you probably know that I make videos on the internet in which I take the lyrics to songs and I translate them badly back and forth between languages in online translation programs so that they completely mess up and become nonsensical, and then I sing them. Through that series, on the one hand, I mock online translation and its inability to be accurate and how fun it is to beat its own system. It's kind of like playing games or making pretty pictures on your calculator. It wasn't intended to do that, but it does. But on the other hand, I also like to celebrate the fact that language is weird. And when we try to communicate across linguistic and cultural barriers, we sound hilarious to each other. I wanted to take a sec to actually talk to you guys about my opinions of online translation and how the different programs work, and for that, I have enlisted the help of a chalkboard and some terrible stick figures. Programs like Google Translate work by examining real documents that have been translated from one language to another, like a UN document, for example, scanning them for vocabulary and syntax, and the data gathered from analyzing thousands of documents then determines how something would be most commonly translated, along with some alternatives. The alternative translations are what are particularly interesting because this is where humans come in. When someone is familiar with the language involved, they can look at the result and adjust the grammar or suggest a different word that might make more sense in a human communicative context. If those changes get registered or learned by the program, they are later used in subsequent translations. It's like translator training. For the record, when I use alternate translation to get my translation further from accuracy, I don't let the program learn that translation because that would be mean. So aside from the obvious differences of grammar and syntax and all of that stuff between languages, there are other factors that make different translations more accurate or less accurate. The first problem is that not all languages are created equal. You've got a good amount of documents translated between English and Spanish, for example, but not as many translated from English into, say, Macedonian. Languages that are less prevalent in the world have less written documents to reference for translations, and less humans to then correct it. So the translations just won't be as accurate or thorough. This is kind of a weird cycle to perpetuate, sort of privileging one language's accuracy over another, but at the moment, there's not a lot we can do about that. There's another problem called the echo chamber effect. In its data gathering process, translation programs might analyze a popular web page in a given language, not realizing that it has been translated by an online translation program. So the inevitable mistakes then get repeated and amplified. This problem should be resolvable, however. And by far the biggest problem with online translation is that computers are not human. Spoken language is one of the most complex features of the human species, one that humans frequently mess up. If you're a translator or you've studied linguistics or literature, you know how hard this is for humans alone. So far, technology can't speak human language better than humans because they also have to go through the intermediate translation into binary code. So it'll be very interesting to see where technology takes us in that regard. With all of this said, do I think that online translation is a great thing and can help us communicate in this world? Yes! As long as the human reading the translation is fluent in that language and can solve the word puzzle that is given to them by an online translation program, as funny as it might sound, it can still promote connection and communication. They just can't be used when accuracy is really important, like on your language homework. I'm looking at you. So what do you guys think of online translation programs? Have you used them in your life? Discuss in the comments below. And in the meantime, while language remains irrevocably imperfect, I will continue to mess with it because it's hilarious. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was informative and fun, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.